Alright, your Pullman Manor Spicer Drive Clutch. Yard chopper paired with the drive shaft of the preferred figure 2021. 2021, no repair with the might effect of the balance of the shaft that will be moved with the district. Before removing any of the parts drive shaft, the be sure that remark over that may move the replay with the exact relationship with existed before the removal. The otherwise out of balance condition is likely to occur. Bearing and journal with the item 4 and 8 of the bearings appear to be worn available to replace the bolt of the bearings 2, 4 and journal 8 with the obtainment of the best result of the remove the bend down with the locking lug with the trap of the 2 with the remove of the screws 1, bearing cap 3, bearing 4 with an out removed with the tapping lightly on the outside with the flange. Journal 8 can be removed by sliding one side, typically clear of the yoke with the couple that assemble the 22 with it should be tackled well with the journal for some of the new part with the dip of the bearings in with the light oil with the be-sure all screwed with the tighten lock, the oil duff with the seal with the item 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 parts of the oil dust sheet with the split with the provide with the easy with the main with the assembling with the brown of the shaft with the remove of the prior loose lock with the remove of the dust shield with the S1 dust cap 52 with the remove of the oil seal with the 14 or 15 or 17 and 17 and sealed wash 15 or 14, 16 and 18 and or not damaged with it, not to be removed. The insert new felt cork washer and screw with it on the dust shield with the duffel cap, the locking screw piece for the butt with both felt with a cork washer that should be soaked with light oil before assembling, but be sure to lubricate with the universal joints and spline with the corner of the instruction clutch. Your clutch. There are two types of spicer clutch for the safety and automatic. Figure 22 show for the safety type of the figure 23 show for the automatic type of the splicer. The clutch if they're interchangeable, you with the transfer of the torque with the drive shaft with the generator. They have tampered bore with the keyway with the amount end of the generator shaft with the safety clutch with the single plate with the friction clutch with the capacity with the control with the spring pressure of the torque load with the transfer from the drive shaft through the clutch cover housing pressure of the plate with the safety plate with the driven disc. Then through the hub generator shaft with the relief of the wedge to provide with a relief of the pressure plate with the necessary of the motor of the generator. Safety overload feature the result with the clutch for the wind and the clutch for the drive with the dipping with the friction strip with the generator and safety plate with the heat transfer with the soft metal with the safety plate with the belt metal allow with the safety plate with the move out with the brain engagement with the clutch runs free with its bearing with the damage result with the figure 23 with the detail with the automatic clutch with the similar with the safety clutch with the Hascom. Same safety overload feature in addition with the clutch and gave with the release for the automatically 280 RPM with the car speed of 8 to 12 miles an hour. Depending on the ratio of the drive of the feature, eliminate the starting load of the locomotive with the permanent, the quick mounting with the generator, the inch of the air with the case for the emergency stops, high in air loading of the generator with the armature with the do not play for the gear unit with the clutch shack with the load with the coupling with the car with the are also avoided engagement, the disengagement with the clutch with the control with the central fecal force move with the flyweights band with against the retraction spring with the flyweights are limited in their travel the maximum capacity with the clutch with the control with the retracting springs. Clutch operate with the same with the either rotational statistically and dynamically balance the inspection plug with the provider checking position safety plate with the cleaning clutch lubrication safety clutch with lubricating it are packed with the pre-packed with the lubricating type with the non-provision made with the VR lubricating automatic clutch bearing with the require lubricating regular 6 months with the inspection performed the automatic clutch with the remove with the generator with the disassemble the remove with the lubricating and yard shop remove with the retainer from the number 5 with the number 25 shown in the figure 25 24 carefully black each of the bearing on the 1/3 of the full you with the use of number 508 grease. Do not put in any more of the amount of the otherwise bearing that will not be hot of the excessive lubricating getting on the facing with the result of the failure of the clutch. Alright, yard repairs on automatic clutch. The main repair for the affecting of the balance of the will be made with the disc with the clutch with the disc type over the control with the central fecal fork with the dance and give with the same with the still with the up to speed with the 8 to 12 miles per hour with the motor generator with the end of the motor. Yard without clutch interface with the also give with the motor generator with the trouble with the clutch might be inoperative with the inspection plug inside with the clutch which will be removed and creep with the between with the safety plate with the disc with the gray with the 116 with the main safety plugs that have probably melted and new clutch should be installed with figure 23. Move the automatic clutch, disconnect with the driver shaft, remove the cotter panel with the shaft nut, attach special purler, and move the clutch figure, see figure 25. Alright, show for the safety mount plugs melted, and then safety feature releasing clutch, releasing for the motor and generator, and then over here on the side shows the release and wedges driven out, and release with wedges driven in. Alright. Safety plugs inspection plug. Read the balance washer safety feature releasing clutch on the left. On the right, automatically disengage motor for motoring. And that's the Spicer automatic and clutch. Key parts of the Mark X mated with the reassembling safety plates 1 through 6, equally spaced. 7, 8 through 19 parts and automatic operating position, and then the hub and inspection plug with automatic movement and clearance. And then show the different repair parts for the clutch. The clutch puller is used to remove the clutch from the generator shaft. That could be used to any type of the bottom with a splicer. Automatically safety clutch if it should be used whenever the clutch has to be removed. The drive and the clutch off likely to damage both of the clutch and generator. Use the puller, the back off the puller and screw the puller into the internal thread of the clutch hub. With this far will go. No turn the screw clockwise. Continuous until the clutch is free. Shift the clutch figure 25. Reapplying new automatic clutch in order to ensure the perfect fit of the clutch of the shaft of the bore of the clutch over the surface of the shaft of the keyway of the motor must be absolutely free of the burrs and filling of the grease. Apply with the key with the armature shaft. Clean armature shaft, bore with the clutch, slide with the clutch into position 4 for the attempt. Apply a special pusher tube and press clutch all the way with the armature shaft. See figure 26. Reapply the nut and cotter and key to do the commutator armature shaft. Reconnect drive shaft. Note to emphasize that it cannot be placed necessarily making sure the clutch is completely seated on the shaft. Replacing safety plugs make part of it in order to reassemble the same position. Remove the cap screw with the front cover, the pry out with the front cover, lift off the safety plate and expose the safety plugs from the front cover. The drive with the old safety plug for the clean out with the melted material. 6 drive with the new set of safety plugs. Leave the special drive in the tool. Do not drive it against the face of the plugs. See figure 29. 7 reassemble the safety plate in the front over the cover. 2 turn of the wrench, left-handed hold wrench, threaded side, left-handed thread, and then show the figure 26. So I'll continue reading. Alright, your clutch pressure for the combination tool hold of the armature shaft with the push for the clutch assembly on with the taper that cannot be used with the hold for the safety and automatic clutches, but not in the 5003 safety clutch, and is particularly adopted for the automatic clutches. They can be held with the other means, but to be used with the pusher first of the pushes the clutch into on the taper with the screw with the small with the motion with the thread end with the shaft with the edge, and will go with this. Hold the nut turning with the large nut on the counterclockwise the direction left hand with the forcing of the clutch securely on the taper to not remove the pusher and apply the regular nut cotter. General disassembly figures 27 and 28. Mark of the front of the cover plate relation to the half of the previously factored mark with the both parts. Parts should be marked with the X figure of the figure 29 should with the front and the back view with the front cover of the plate with the remove the 6 scrap screws, lock washers loosening the ends each of the turn around with the circumference of the method should allow with the spring pressure of the braid with the cover of the prior to cover the remaining distance with the clear with the necessary with the make sure safety plate is shown figure 30 with the relation with the housing the pressure plate with the lift over the safety plate, lift out with the driven disc of the bolt assembly. Help assembly showing figure 31. Make sure the pressure plate with the relation with the housing lift out with the pressure plate assembly. Figure 32. Show the front view and the rear view of the pressure plate with the bolt parts should be marked with lifting and an X. Lift on the 6 compression springs shown with the figure 33. Note the repair parts listed in figure 24 should may be exchanged if the part now show with the list of the required renewal of the clutch, but it must be reassembled to turn into the store key with the disposition. Driven the disc should be fastened into the hub by 16. Remove the disassembly. Remove the old style with the 8. Remove the disc. Reassembly and should be replaced with a new 16 style rivet assembly, reassembly with the reversing above the procedure, keeping in marked parts mated. Renew front cover bearing with the disassemble the clutches to outline above the 2. Remove the 4 flat head screw with the bearing with the retainer with the remove of the retainer. See figure 29. 3 force the hub out with the front over the cover plate. 4 force the bearing out of the back to the front with the 5 force the seal out of the front and the back. Remove the 6 remove the gasket. 7 clean the reassemble you with the new the gasket receive. Forcing procedures 3, 4, 5. No, apply the shield shown figure 34. Caution extreme care must be exercised with the apply with the shield with the long edge of the against the bearing. This will be clearly determined by putting the roller edge of the ceiling house against the bearing. Pack bearing of the 1/3 of the fold with the K13666 and apply new paper gasket with the retainer. Renew housing bearing. Disassemble the clutch from the outline above. Remove the 6 flat head screw with the bearing retainer. Pry out with the figure 33. Force without the bearing back to the front. Force out with the shield with the front and back. Remove the gasket. Clean parts and reassemble you with the new gasket. 7. The repack of the bearing 1/3 fold with a K13666 of the new renewal with a retainer with apply with a new gasket. Retainers don't with apply with the seal shown figure 34. Caution extreme care must be exercised to apply with the seal with a long edge again to the bearing with a completely determined pulling the rolled edge of the seal housing again to the bearing. Clutch facing. Disassemble the clutch outline. Remove the facing rivet 12 with the facing with the drilled out rivet to figure 31. Apply the new facing on the rivet to Reverse alternating rivets. Renew drive of the disc or hub with new repair. No repairs are made with the drive and the disc. For the hub of the assembly should be renewed with each unit. Balancing the housing on the front of the cover plate with dynamically balanced individually before assembling the pressure plate and the drive of the disc on assembly and safety plate are to be statistically balanced individually. After assembly with the clutch must be dynamically balanced at the full speed range of the balancing machine. Figure 27, show the housing pressure plate with driven disc safety plate and with cover plate. Show the figure 28, show the exploded view of the automatic showing of the parts for the assembly order. So, cover plate on the left, right, safety housing pressure plate, driven disc safety plates, and cover plate. Or show the front view of your do not drive over the press on the side with the cover plate, front cover plate, and back view of the front cover plate. Your safety plate, figure 30. Line up the markings on figure 31, driven disc hub assembly, figure front view, and figure 32 with the pressure plate, front view of figure 32. And then this one's upside down, and we'll flip that around. Go back out of it. Too far. Alright, this shows the clutch housing, front view, back view, and then flip it around one more time, 2 more times. Or show application of a seal on the housing front cover, and the item numbers are your bearing in the front cover, gasket sealing, bearing in the housing, bearing in the retainer. Show the bearing locations. And this was your Pullman manual splicer drive clutch.